Now, Dean, if you will be fortunate to be nominated and appointed as the next Chief Justice, can you describe to us the face of a Pangalangan court?
Okay. That is a difficult question, Your Honor. Your Honor, you mentioned that Chief Justices were identified by the administrative reforms.
Yes.
I would like the legacy, if I'm given the opportunity,
yes.
to be both administrative and judicial.
Judicial, yes.
That is for a court which spoke with a clear voice. In other words, I see it as part of the role of a Chief Justice to bring his colleagues together toward a core agreement on the most important issues. To speak with a clear voice on constitutional norms. And so for me, it is a court that will be identified with living up to the loftiest dreams of the 1987 Constitution, because that was a constitution brought about by a rupture between the martial law era and the post-Marcos era. So I'm trying to find a brief way to describe that. Well, Your Honor, it will be a court that exercised its judicial power judiciously. That is how I will summarize it.
Okay. Now, my last question, Dean. Now, if you will be the next Chief Justice, can you tell us what will be your top 3 priorities upon assumption of office?
Okay, Your Honor. I can think of just 2 right now, but I'll think of a 3rd
Yes.
along the way. Well, Your Honor,
Okay.
the most urgent and the most obvious is the consolidation of the institution, because we are here today because of a dramatic and I would say traumatic process by which a Chief Justice was unseated. And I think the institution has to consolidate itself, both internally within the Supreme Court, at the level of the justices, at the level of the staff, the court vis-a-vis the Supreme Court vis-a-vis the lower courts, all the way to the trial judges, and for that matter, the court vis-a-vis the other branches of government. That, of course, will be sensitive, but I think it is something that ought to be done, and the best time to do it is as soon as a new Chief Justice takes over, so that he can take advantage of the momentum of that appointment. That's the first. The second, Your Honor, is which brings me back to what I call the managerial approach. You see, Your Honor, in terms of administrative reforms within the courts, I have been part of the Supreme Court committees, many Supreme Court committees in the past, and my feeling really is that all the bright ideas on judicial reform have already been expressed. I'd rather not reinvent the wheel. I think we are now at the stage of implementing all those wonderful ideas, and it is in the process of implementation that we have to ask ourselves, how come some reforms are not easily embraced by the practitioners, for instance, that even if the judge wants, even if the judge, for instance, has a policy of no postponements, what if both parties basically agree and present it as a fait accompli? So for me, the administrative reforms which have been laid out from the action plan for judicial reform from 2001 to 2006, I think were written well because they looked at the court as an administration, as an organization. And now we are at the stage of implementing that. Well, in terms of the third, Your Honor, in much the same, I will do exactly what I did in my past administrative positions and address the the question of staff morale and staff benefits. For me, the institution thrives upon its lowliest employees. And these are the staff whose benefits are minuscule compared to the rest, whose problems fall through the cracks, and can be forgotten in the course of the more earth-shaking decisions faced by the highest administrators. And my feeling then and my feeling now is that is something that ought to be given importance.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dean, and good luck.
Salamat po.
Justice Hermosissima, sir.
Well, good afternoon, Dean.
Good afternoon po.
I have